Today we are discussing about epididymis. Epididymis is a tube-like structure. About 6 to 7 meters long, receiving spermatozoa from vasa or vas efferentia. The sperms which are formed in a seminiferous tubules, they later on move through a common duct. We call that one as a rete testis. Then rete testis having at its end it's having a network of the tubules. We call that network of tubules as vas efferentia. Then these sperms are dispatched inside the epididymis through vas efferentia. Which type of sperm? That is spermatozoa. Say for instance, if we are making here a testis, say this is a testis here, I make it roughly. Then testis is forming here. The seminiferous tubules are formed, then they get combined into a common duct known as the rete testis. The rete testis later form a bunch of tubules. We call that one as the vas efferentia. Then vas efferentia transpose the sperms into the epididymis. See, this is epididymis here, which I am making here. Now, this is a testis here. This is a testis which we have here. This is known as a vas efferentia. And this all is known as a epididymis. See, this structure we have is a epididymis. Now this epididymis, it's having the various parts. The head part, this at the top, this head part is known as head, or you can also call it as caput epididymis in a Latin name. It's a Latin name. Caput epididymis. Caput epididymis is its Latin name. Then this having a middle portion is known as a body, or it is also known as corpus epididymis. Corpus epididymis. Then it's having a tail region. It is known as tail, or in the Latin name it is known as a cauda. Cauda epididymis. So these are the various parts of the epididymis. It's converted. It's consisting of the three parts: the head region, that is the caput epididymis. Then we have a body. It is the corpus epididymis. Then we have a tail, it is known as the cauda epididymis. So this is testis forming the vas efferentia, transferring these spermatozoa into the epididymis. Now one more thing we have to study: what are these various parts and what is the function of these parts. Let's take them one by one. Let's first study the head. What head consists of, what's its function. See, if we will take a head, or we can also call it as a caput epididymis. This epididymis is consisting of, this part of epididymis is made up of thick epithelium. So it is made up of thick epithelium. First thing, it is made up of thick epithelium. The epithelium which it have is a pseudostratified epithelium. Next thing we have, that is, it bears stereocilia. That means it's having a cilia present, but that cilia are non-motile. Cilia is a non-motile cilia. It doesn't show any movement. The next thing is, it is having a little quantity of smooth muscles. So smooth muscle is very less here, but the epithelium is very thick, and epithelium, it also bears a stereocilia, which are non-motile cilia. What is its function? It mainly absorbs the fluid from the sperms, so as to make it more concentrated, so as to make it more sperms and less fluid. So we can say it is helping here absorption of fluid so as to make so as to make sperms more concentrated. This very important function which is performed by the head, that is absorption of fluid from these sperms. If there is any fluid, it is absorbed, and what remains here? Only the sperm. So it makes sperm more concentrated. This is very important thing. Next thing we have is a middle part. It's also known as a body, or we can also call it as a corpus epididymis. What's its function? We'll see it first. The next thing we have is a corpus epididymis, or this also known as, it's a Latin name, the common it can be called as a body. Now it consists of intermediate smooth muscles. It is also having the epithelium, but epithelium is not as thick. It is less thick here. The epithelium is not more thick as we have in the head. So it is also consisting of epithelium, but the muscles here is an intermediate. That means neither they are less nor they are more. They are an intermediate quantity. That is smooth muscle, but epithelium is also present. The next one we have is a corpus. Next one we have is a chorda epididymis, or you can also call it as tail. This chorda epididymis, it consists of epithelium, but epithelium is not thick, it is a thin epithelium, so it is having a very thin epithelium, but it's having a more smooth muscles. Thin epithelium, but more smooth muscles. What's its function? It stores spermatozoa. It stores spermatozoa for about 18 to 20 hours. अगर आपको कोई बताएगा कि स्पर्म में जो फॉर्म होती है टेस्टिस में, वो स्टोर कहाँ किए जाते हैं, so the most important region where they are stored is a tail or chorda epididymis. It stores spermatozoa. ये स्पर्मेटोजोआ को स्टोर करके रखता है कितने आवर तक? 18 to 20 hours. और most important thing, one more important thing is there, physiological maturity of sperms also takes place in chorda epididymis. So physiological maturity of sperms also take place in tail. इस tail के अंदर, इस chorda epididymis के अंदर physiological, there's a maturity of sperm now get ready to get dispatched, and now they are fully developed. These sperms, they get matured here inside in the tail as well. So we can say chorda epididymis is very important function. It stores spermatozoa about 18 to 20 hours and also leads to the maturity of the sperms. Now discussing next parts of the reproductive system of the male, let's have the whole structure of the male reproductive system. Then we'll go to the next part, like we have a seminal vesicle. Now making the structure, the whole structure of the male reproductive system, you can make with me as well. Its various parts. Then we'll go for the further parts which remain here, like we have the seminal vesicle. See, if I am making here two testes, so this is one test subscrotum here, and this is another subscrotum here. So these are the subscrotum pouches where the testes are located. So this is one testis and this is another testis. I make it on one side. You can understand all other structures, all other testes have also the same structures. Say for instance, this is here epididymis. See, this is epididymis here. It comes here. See, this is epididymis. This region is epididymis here. Now this is a wall differential I am making here. Now Same is here, another testis, same is here. We have epididymis, then after we have a wall difference. I'm not making on another side, but easily understand it. Then after we have here a presence of a urinary bladder in the center. And from this urinary bladder, we have a formation of this urinogenital tract. So this is the urinogenital tract. Now, this vas differentia comes and joins here. Same is here. The vas difference comes, then it joins here to the urinogenital tract. So here it is a urinary bladder where the urine is stored, and through which the urine flows here. Now, here we have the one more region located, that is the most important region, that we call as ampulla, that is sac-like structure if I am making here. And this sac-like structure is having the association of a seminal vesicle. Say this is the presence of the seminal vesicle here, which opens here in this ampulla region so as to dispatch this secretion. We see all these secretions what are secreted by the seminal vesicle. One more region we have here located. If I am making one more, this vas difference here, and we have the one more gland located here, which is covering all three regions. We call this gland as prostate gland. We call this gland as, this gland is known as a prostate gland. Prostate gland. Then after here we have a presence of muscles to form it as a pins. Now this is the formation of the pins here. Now this is the pins here formed, and these are the muscles that sit with it. See, these are the muscles. Now we can name them all. This is known as a sacrotum. This is known as a testis. This one is known as epididymis. This one is known as vas differentia. This one is a seminal vesicle, which we will discuss tomorrow in detail. This is known as an ampulla, sac-like structure. Then we have one more structure located here. This is known as ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct. Then this region we have here, we call this one as urinogenital tract. That means from urinobladder, this is a urinary bladder. From urinary bladder, there is a expelling out of the urine into the urethra, and from this region, vas different, there is a transfer of the sperms into it. So it becomes a common passage, both for sperm as well as for urine. That's why we call it as a urinogenital tract. This is very important to have kept in mind. Then after we have the head of pins, we call it pins glands. Then we have muscles here associated to it. We call those muscles as a foreskin. Or it's also known as a prefuse. Prefuse. And then after we have this aperture, it is known as a urinogenital aperture. Because through this aperture, both the urine as well as the sperms are laying out. So this is about the male reproductive system, which consists of testis, then we have epididymis, then vas differentia. Then this vas differentia is having attachment of the seminal vesicle, where the secretion of the seminal vesicle are poured inside it. Then we have a prostate gland. We have one more gland located here, that is located onto the urethral region, like this region. We call that gland as Cowper's gland. That is located on the urethra. We call it Cowper's gland. They are bulb shaped, that's why we call them as a bulbourethral gland. They are also known as bulbourethral gland. We will study all these parts one by one, which are present in a male reproductive system. We have studied up to the epididymis. Now tomorrow we go for the vas differentia, then we'll see the seminal vesicle. All these parts we'll see one by one. So as to make the complete study of the male reproductive system. So tomorrow we'll go through the vas differentia and the seminal vesicle.